everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you another one of my homemade hiker's meals. Because of the number of recipes I've been trying to produce, I've been eating a lot of ramen, and as a result I've gained a little bit more weight than I would have liked. So now I'm actually going keto, or more keto, so the recipes you're going to see, the bulk, is going to be a more keto-friendly bulk. And you'll see that. I'm pretty excited about this product myself. So today, I'm going to be doing a keto-friendly beef stroganoff. Please click like and subscribe to join my hiking family. In my search for a more keto-friendly bulk for my meals, I found something that would probably surprise you. It actually is a noodle. It's al dente pasta company carbonara noodles. Now, the 28 grams that I do in my meals only carry about 8 net carbs. So you're not really adding much in the way of carbs, so you can still stay keto while still getting that great texture, that great tooth, and not feeling like you're missing out. So for this dish, I went with the roasted garlic fettuccine from Carbonara, just because it added that extra little bit of garlic flavor to it. And we start by measuring out, like I said, 28 grams of the noodles. And they do hydrate pretty well. They get a nice texture to them, and depending on the other ingredients, like I said, you will need to add water a little more frequently, because you definitely will with this recipe. So, alright, so there's 28 grams. And then what I do, rather than try to vacuum seal them with all the different textures going on, I crush them up to help prevent any unnecessary poking. Because if they poke, I found with the ramen noodles, there's a possibility of them opening a microscopic hole in this food saver bag. And I just lost one. Yes, you saw that. But you just crush them up a little bit, just enough to help control the directions that they go, so that they're not necessary. They're hopefully not going to perforate the bag once you're done. And as always, I start with my cut down food saver bag, and I'm just going to pour these in to the bottom. And there you go. So you still got something you can spoon. It's not tiny little pieces. It's very spoon friendly, which I only carry a spoon out on the trail anymore because a fork was just wasted weight. And it wasn't all that pleasant trying to eat with a fork out of the bag. The spoon gets in there and gets the job done a lot better. Well, next, since it's beef stroganoff, you can pretty much guess that the next ingredient is beef. And for that, I always use my Mountain House freeze-dried ground beef. And as usual, we do 20 grams of that. Yeah, I tried this recipe a few times to get the proportions down right, and honestly it's something I really quite enjoy. If you've ever made beef stroganoff at home, you'll know that one of the main ingredients in the sauce is sour cream. And you get to do that authentic sauce in this recipe because I use Hoosier Hill Farm powdered sour cream. And we are going to do 2 healthy tablespoons of that. I'll tell you, this was something that I was really excited when I found it. So now it's getting to the point now where I'm not surprised to find anything dehydrated anymore. For an extra depth of flavor and a little bit more fat, we go with butter. And for that, we're using Hoosier Hill Farms product again, back to their powdered butter. And 1 tablespoon of that. Another thing you definitely need in a beef stroganoff is mushrooms. And being that I like their products so much, I wanted to try the freeze-dried mushrooms from Mother Earth Products. And we're going to do 2 grams of the mushrooms. Now I will tell you, these things are really greedy for the water. So you'll want to definitely keep an eye on your water levels, because it'll look like you have a great sauce, and it'll be a great sauce, but the noodles will tend to stay a little too al dente. So you'll want to keep an eye on this, and you can add more mushrooms if you want, but I go with 2 grams, just because it adds a little extra texture, it absorbs some of that flavor, but again, it does absorb a lot of water, so you don't want to have too many of them in here, but they do taste great. Then for an additional bit of texture and flavor, I add Mother Earth Products freeze-dried onions. And we are going to do 1 teaspoon, 1 heaping teaspoon. Oh, they smell so good. I don't know what they do to their vegetables, but they are the best. The other major part of the sauce in beef stroganoff is beef stock. And that was a difficult thing for me to find, was a powdered beef stock. So instead of that, I started looking into brown gravy mixes. But I didn't want just brown. I wanted that beef flavor, because a lot of gravy mixes tend to just have caramel coloring or some other coloring in there to give it its brown color. So I wanted something with a real beefy flavor, because after all, we're out there to enjoy our meals on the trail. So for that, I found Trio Low Sodium Beef Gravy Mix. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon of the gravy. And it doesn't sound like much, but the density of the flavor this carries, I found any more than that, it tend to be a bit overpowering. So this blends really well with the sour cream and makes a primo stroganoff sauce. And finally, to round it all off and to complete the flavor, is of course garlic powder. And I do 1/4 teaspoon of that. And this, as I've said in other times with the garlic powder, it depends on the meal. It depends on your application. If you're out there in the woods and you want to make sure you keep bugs off of you, more garlic doesn't hurt you there. But you don't want to overpower it. And this is just something I'm going to do for a lunch on a day hike. So I don't need that much. But play with it, because your taste will vary as mine do. And as always, we go back to the handy dandy food saver to vacuum seal this and get it trail ready. So you push the vacuum and seal button and you'll watch it suck all the air out real quickly. And you can hear it cracking those noodles. So you'll want to keep an eye on the bag over the next couple of days. If it does let some air back in, what you do is open the bag, reseal it, put that in another bag, and then you can reseal that. And that'll avoid that. But rarely do I ever have to deal with that issue. Well, at least since I started crushing up the noodles beforehand. And then, as always, another seal just to make sure, in case there's a flaw in the bag itself, that we can seal this as well as possible. And once the light goes out, we're done. Open it, and there you go. Another trail-ready, homemade hiker's meal. Keto-friendly on the gourmet side. I test these things out thoroughly until I'm happy with them, and then I share them with you. So this is something I like, and you'll always probably want to adjust it yourself based on your taste. But this should give you a good jumping off point. So there you have it. Another homemade hiker's meal. Very keto friendly, very tasty, adding more variety to what you're going to eat when you're out on the trail. If you've tried any of my recipes, please leave a comment below to let me know what you thought and if you made any changes to it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment or send me an email to trailnamemace@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to visit trailnamemace.com to find links to products I've reviewed. Thanks for watching, and keep hiking!